Good morning, everyone. I'm out here in West Texas and just wanted to make a little video about naysayers. Naysayers suck. The problem is that they'll always show up when you are trying to do something different than everyone else. No matter what you do, there will always be at least one naysayer that will tell you that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. Why are you doing that? The problem is that when you are pretty much giving up the comfortable, well-to-do life, that's when they show up the most. Like, look, I am glad that people are worried about me. I appreciate that. But the fact of the matter is that this isn't a willy-nilly decision to come and move out, to sell or to move out of my paid-off home with a well-to-do job. It wasn't, it wasn't something I was going to get super rich off of, but I wasn't exactly broke either. The problem is my health is breaking. My joy was breaking. My creativity was gone. And I needed something else. I spent hours on the computer at work to go home and spend more hours on the computer for quote unquote entertainment. That's not a life to me. And if you think that's a life for you, that's great. But for me, I wanted to get outside. As I said in a previous video, I believe that, or I know that I spent a majority of my life behind closed spaces, no windows. As a submariner, I spent a lot of time in a dark tube. And as someone who had a clearance, I spent a lot of time in an office that had no windows. No matter where I went, there was no windows, or I was extremely far that I wasn't getting anything. It's not a life for me. I want to be outside, I want to be able to do stuff, and I want to be creative. But I couldn't do any of that, or I felt like I couldn't do any of that. Maybe it was an attitude shift. But sometimes, in order to make an attitude shift, you have to make a lifestyle shift. So, here I am, the biggest lifestyle shift. It amazes me. I try to support my spouse and her career, and everybody's worried about my career. It's like, it's time to move on, time to try something new. When I was younger, I was spinning my gears, becoming more and more broke because I was spinning my gears. And I could never get anything done. I was falling further and further behind. And I had to make a lifestyle choice. Had to change my lifestyle. And that's why I joined the military. Rolled off, spent 20 years in there, made many, many sacrifices for my family. Get out of the military, and I'm still in an office with no windows. I tried it. I did it. And I was getting bored. I wouldn't say angry, but I wasn't exactly happy with what I was doing either. Coming out here is my lifestyle choice for the thing. You could call it my midlife crisis if you want. My midlife crisis is perfectly fine for me. I don't need a fancy sports car. I don't need a fancy luxury vehicle. I don't need 20,000 square foot home. I have my acreage in the middle of nowhere with a property that I'm building, and that when I'm done, I will be proud of what I've accomplished, regardless if it's perfect or not. The area is quiet. There's no neighbors, as you can see. And on a random day, I am walking around my property with cows in the background. The cows are out there, I don't know, maybe 500 feet. They look like they're on the boundary of my property, which is fine. I don't know where the other ones went. It's been a lifestyle change. There's still a lot of things I need to get used to, things I need to do, things I need to work on, but that's okay. Am I gonna fail? Who knows? But I will tell you something. My health and my life will give out before I give up. Because that's just who I am. And anybody who truly knows me for me have known that once I put my mind to something, there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. It's gonna roll and it's gonna go. So here I am, and I enjoy just being able to walk around my own place with nobody sitting there eyeballing me on what I'm doing. It's okay to try something new. It's okay to try something different. You will always have naysayers that will question you. But look at them sometimes. Wonder why they're naysaying. Is it because they're jealous because they'll never do something like that? Are they shallow because they believe that there's only one way to live your life and be quote unquote successful? My success right now is being able to do this in the first place. Because there's a lot of people that would love to come out and be at peace early in their lifetime. But they have to work. They have to keep up with societal norms. Because if they don't, then somebody will question how successful they are. I can't. I love it. Right now, I'm enjoying it. Will that change? Maybe. But that's okay. Because if you're not going to be, if you're not willing to change, you're going to be stagnant. If you're not willing to learn, you're going to be stagnant. And at the end of the day, what you have in your bank account is not going to matter. And unless you're those special lucky people that have made history throughout life, you'll be forgotten within 2 generations. 2 generations. Generally your children and your grandchildren. And if you have no children, your friends die, you are gone. No one will remember who you are. So why are you trying to please everyone else? Now if you're making history, you're writing books, people will remember you. You gotta have some, if you have a legacy, a true legacy of some sort, then sure. But if your whole thing is to just be quote unquote successful and you have no true legacy, let's face it, you're forgotten as soon as your immediate relatives are gone. Don't believe me? Go to graveyards. You can tell who is still remembered because their graves are generally still very well taken care of. And there's many graves that have become dilapidated, overgrown, dirty, all sorts of stuff. those people have forgotten. Their families are gone. And maybe their families are still live on. Don't get me wrong. Those families could be your great grandchildren, but your great grandchildren don't know who they are. I mean, I don't even remember my great grandparents. And once my grandmother goes and her children go, my great grandmother will be completely forgotten. I know she existed at one time, but everything she's done in her life, everything that she said, the stories that were with her are all gone. And that brings up why it's not important to worry about naysayers when you're trying to move forward in your life. Here's the thing. Are you doing criminal acts? If the answer is no, move forward. Are you being extremely dangerous and careless? If that's what they're worried about, just make sure you aren't being careless or dangerous. And if that's the way you want to live your life, then, go for it. But that's the reason why they care. That's the reason why they naysay. There's other people. The problem with naysayers, though, and why I say that they're trash, is because in some deep way, as much as they don't want you to fail, which could be one reason why they're naysaying, the other reason is because they want you to fail. They want to be able to say, well, I told you so. You shouldn't have done that. Now look at you. Here's the thing. Plan. Think about it. Research every avenue. Don't just research one avenue. You're going to go live off the grid? Fine. Live off the grid. Get some practice before you go on. Get some knowledge before you do it. Is it completely necessary? No. But you better be able to make friends and be able to convince them to help you and go throughout life, or to help you learn the skills that you need to do. Don't put yourself in a reckless situation. Make sure you have availability to all the basic needs that you require. Never put yourself in a situation where you don't have your basic needs. Shelter, need. Food, need. Water, need. All those are absolutely required. If you have that, then go for it. If you don't, you might want to rethink it. If you don't know how to access it, rethink your situation. But in the meantime, just remember that you have to do you. And that's what's important. If you have a spouse, what you and your spouse are working together, that's what you need to worry about. Everybody else will have some kind of level of worry, because sometimes they're so ingrained with what they're doing that they forget that there are other ways that can be done. So take the naysayers with a grain of salt. Figure out what kind of naysayer they are. Are they the ones that are afraid you're going to fail, and they're worried about your well-being? Or are they the naysayers because they're jealous or can't understand how you can possibly just want to be different than everything else? Like, I've worked my life, and I just see that, knowing that there is a true difference in how society will treat you once you are ready to be different than everybody else. And as a man, it makes it even worse, because if you don't want a job, everybody's like, oh, you're lazy, you're this, that, the other thing. And let me tell you, doing this is a lot more work than what I was doing. And the difference is, now I work more and I don't get paid for it. I do more work trying to get things situated and comfortable, and I do not get paid. Where I had a nice cushy job that paid really well, and it was actually less work than what I'm getting paid now, or what I'm doing now. And it's okay. You gotta live for yourself, because like I said, even if I live long enough for my grandchildren to remember me, once they're gone, I'm gone. And that's okay, because no one will ever know this. But I think I've rambled on long enough. I'm actually reaching the end of my property as we speak. And it's been nice to be able to just walk around and quiet, and this view. And I'm going to take a few minutes, walk back towards the trailers, and enjoy the scene myself. I mean, can't even get, like, it doesn't even compare to what it looks like right now myself. But whoo, I need to get a stick or something. This thing is like right up in my face. It's all right. But this is my walk and chat for today. Just remember, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. But just remember, these naysayers, they can't control your life. Understand that there's always a possibility for failure, and you just have to mitigate by doing your research, talking with people, and learning in order to mitigate those dangers. All right, so until next time, peace.